Okay guys, so as explained before, I'm going to quickly add an extra parameter that is going to be the constant average. That is going to be a slider for the user to change depending on whether they want to see if the average profit percentage, the GP, is different. So you're going to go to modeling, you're going to say new parameter and then numeric range. I'm going to call this average GP percentage, and it's going to be a decimal number because it needs to have decimal numbers due to the percentages. So I'm going to make it minimum profit GP percentage 20%. The maximum is going to be 200%. Increment is going to be 0.05, and the default value is going to be 0.65. That is 65%. So I'm going to say create, and it creates the slicer for you. And here you go, you can change that to 65%, and let's just move and size it to the right place, and there you go. So now you can slide around this to see whether you want to see what the percentages are, and now you can add that to your visual. So here I'm going to go and add that to my visual, so average GP percentage, and now you can see it shows it as orange there, and if you move it up, that moves up on the bar, and it shows you've made that 1.15, so that means over 15%. So I'm going to set that back to 0.05, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you the option to specify whether to see with arrows if the user or whether the customer or the sales has been above this average or not. So based on that, I'm going to go here and I'm going to add, copy this visual here, copying it by just going here. I'm going to rename this to green. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to create a new one, and I'll call this one red. So I'll just change this to red, and now you have your red. And then I'll bring that in here as well, and now you'll have both showing on the same bar. So the reason why you want to see both of them is because you can't have error bars with the same color or different colors on the same measure. So what we'll do now is we have the GP percentage. So I'm going to create two extra measures based on this. I'm going to call them new measure. Call it GP percentage above average. And I'm going to say if my GP percentage equals to, I'm just going to call it the default one, the average green, then GP percentage else blank. So if you don't specify anything, it will be blank by default. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to create it. I'm setting that to a percentage of one decimal, and I'm creating a new one, paste, and I'll rename this to below average, and this will be less than that. So now it'll create it based on that. And let's call this a percentage as well, and set the decimal symbol to 1. Okay, now that we've done this, let's go play around with the colors. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to say on the lines, first and foremost, I'm going to make them all a stroke width of 1. So it doesn't take up so much space. And then I'm going to make the one line white. So the red one, I'm going to make that completely white. I don't want to see it. So you need to change the colors. You need to go back to here. So this one is going to be white. We don't want to see it. And this one, I'm going to make this color. make that not solid. I'm going to make it dashed. That's the wrong one. I made a mistake. I should have changed this to the green one here, and now I'm going to make it dashed. So now you can see it shows you your average constant line, and that one there is your difference. So let's change that to let's change the GP percentage to dotted. So now you can see that, and now I'm going to add the arrows based on this. So I'm going to go back here, and we're going to go to error bars. And now we want to create an error bar based on the green, and I'm going to enable it, and I'm going to say if it's higher, so we're going to specify above average, then it needs to show that. So as you can see, it's showing that, but now we want to change the color of the bar to green. So I'm going to go to green here, nice green color here. The best way to make sure it is proper green is change this to 0, 0, and now you know it's proper green. And we're going to make the width of the bar this size. The border size is going to be 0, and the marker is going to be an arrow. So let's set that to an arrow, and there you go. Now you can see the arrows when it has been above that. So let's change that for the second one as well. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to specify it below average. I'm going to enable it. I'm going to change the color to red. So 255 here, 0, 0. And I'm going to set that to an arrow as well. And the width is going to be 2, and the border size is going to be 0. And there you go. That's done. So if you want to finish that up, you can switch on the data label for just so this one switched off, this one we leave it on, and the other switch it off as well. And that looks like this. There's your end result.